Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to members here in the chamber, and welcome to any members or members of the public watching on the webcast. Usual thing, there are no fire alarms due this evening, so if they do happen, we will exit either by the door at the back there or that one, depending which is best, and meet in the car park. Right, okay, we will move on with the agenda for this meeting of the Braintree District Council Cabinet. Item 1, apologies for absence. I have apologies from Councillor Ritchie and Councillor Coleridge. I think that otherwise everyone else is here. Yep, fine, thank you. Move on to item 2, declarations of interest. Do any members of Cabinet have an interest to declare either of a pecuniary or non-pecuniary nature? Councillor Cunningham.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to declare a non-pecuniary interest as a member of Essex County Council, as they are mentioned in several of the reports that are being discussed and debated this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mrs Bowers-Flint, shall I take the same declaration for yourself and for myself and for Councillor Schwier? All of us are members of Essex County Council. Any other declarations of interest? No? If not, let's move on. Minutes of the previous meeting. To approve as a correct record the minutes of the meeting of Cabinet held on the 18th of December 2023. They've been circulated. Are you happy that they are a true, correct record?
Agreed.
And I sign them? Thank you. Before I continue, I want to welcome back Councillor Mrs Pell. We are absolutely delighted to see you back with us this evening, and to wish you the very best in your continuing journey. But excellent,
thank
really
you.
Nice to see you.
You can't believe how much it means to me to be back amongst friends and everything else, so thank you.
Well, and do feel free to join in, but don't be a troublemaker. Okay, but really delighted to see you back. Right, public question time. I understand there are no members of the public who wish to speak. We have 3 members of the council there. Any comments anybody wants to make at all?
No, thank you.
No? Okay, thank you. Move on then to item 5, homelessness and rough sleeping strategy. This starts on page 5 of your agenda, and the paper will be introduced by Councillor Annette Bowers-Flint, who's the Cabinet Member for Housing, Health and Wellbeing. Councillor Bowers-Flint. Thank you,
Leader. Good evening, members. I'd like to introduce the Homeless and Rough Sleeping Strategy 2024-2029 to you all. Throughout September 2023, the Council accommodated or already had living in temporary accommodation 65 households, which included 75 adults and 97 children. Under the Homeless Act 2002, all housing authorities must have in place a homelessness strategy, and the strategy must be renewed at least every 5 years. The current homelessness strategy covers the period 2018 to 2023. The strategy is required to ensure the Council is doing everything possible to prevent and respond to homelessness in the district. And I'm sure you will agree we do that in a good way. The Homelessness and Rough Sleeping Strategy 2024 to 2029 retains a clear focus upon early intervention to prevent homelessness, or if prevention is not possible, to end homelessness at the earliest opportunity. This strategy seeks to bring together partners and outlines how we intend to work collaboratively to prevent households becoming homeless and reduce rough sleeping. There are many challenges and barriers that people face when trying to find a home, and more people require temporary accommodation than in previous years. Key to supporting the delivery of this strategy is a complete review of homelessness provision, including temporary accommodation and move-on pathway from supported housing. Evidence collected by Braintree District Council has shown that the households presenting as homelessness in the district have more complex needs than ever in previous years. With more pressure on local housing, This strategy is designed to support households facing homelessness at the early stage to help reduce homelessness and rough sleeping in this district. I'm asking Cabinet to consider the strategy so that it can be taken to public consultation for feedback. We would like to implement the new strategy in April 2024 and work with our partners on the delivery plan to reduce homelessness and rough sleeping in Braintree District Council. Thank you, Leader.
Beg your pardon. Formally seconded. Thank you, Councillor Cunningham. Right, open for comment and discussion. Anyone wish to make any comments at all? No? Yes, Councillor Cunningham.
No one else says no. Just, I think, very pleased to see this coming forward relatively early in the 4-year administration. It's very easy to assume, perhaps wrongly, that this is an affluent district. Standard of living is high for everyone, and we know a little bit. If you go beneath the surface, you realise that's not the case. And I think by reaffirming our commitment to the homeless, and particularly those who are most vulnerable in society, once again indicates the compassionate side of this council. And by agreeing this today, we have our agreed framework in which we can continue to support. So I think congratulate Councillor Bowers, Flint, and all the officers involved for bringing this forward, and delighted to see it coming to Cabinet this evening.
Thank you very much. Councillor Jeffries.
I think actually I've already made this point before at a previous meeting, but I can't remember which one it was. Christmas has happened in between. It's just that I think when we were talking about consultation, that actually Councillor Bowers Flint did say that it would be some of the people that are facing homelessness that would be encouraged to take part in the consultation, as they are the ones, obviously, that it affects most. So I just wanted to reaffirm that, really. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynette, do you want to answer that point now?
Thank you, Lady. Yes, we will consult clients because obviously they're experiencing it and they're the best people to speak to in some way. But I just want to add, Leader, that this strategy proves and shows, because although we do have homeless people, obviously everybody does, rough sleeping is in a good place to a lot of other authorities, and that's because of early intervention. And early intervention is the most important thing as an authority we can do, because when the people turn up on the doorstep here, it's a lot harder to help and assist than what it is if we are aware of it and we can divert it and do whatever we can to assist the client. So I think, you know, that can't be stressed enough, that early intervention on rough sleeping and homelessness is the best medicine, basically. But we will be consulting with those people, Councillor Jeffries. Thank you.
Any other comments at all? Councillor Bowers.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I'd just like to join Councillor Cunningham's comments in regards and welcoming this this strategy, and the work that has gone into it. As the previous portfolio holder for housing, I know how hard our teams work, and sometimes when we look at these kind of strategies, we should never take for granted all the hard work and all the efforts that go into actually making us an authority that is well respected, especially within the county, in regards our record on homelessness and rough sleeping. And that was kind of brought to I'd say fruition, but brought to a focus on it during COVID, and how we had to sort of collaborative working with the rest of Essex, and all the challenges that we experienced during then. But as Councillor Bowers Flint would allude to, things change in regards to complex needs of people, and that kind of thing put even more pressure on the officers dealing with it, but we just react and carry on with that great level of service. But I welcome the strategy and all credit to the officers who put this together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments at all? In which case it has been moved and seconded that we approve the draft homelessness and rough sleeping strategy for it to be taken to public consultation. Is it the intention to come back here after consultation, or? Yes, so we'll get the feedback from the people who contribute to the consultation. Okay, so are you willing to approve the draft strategy? Agreed? Agreed. Thank you very much. That takes us on to item 6, which is at page 49 of the agenda, and that is the empty homes policy. And this again is Councillor Bowers-Flint.
Thank you, Leader. As you well know, this is something quite close to my heart as Cabinet Member for Housing, with the current situation and the difficulty it is for people to get rented a property. The purpose of the empty homes policy is to reduce the number of long-term empty properties within the district by bringing empty properties back into use and discouraging owners from leaving them empty long-term. There is no statutory requirement to have an empty homes policy, but it is good practice and it's recommended that the Council has one in place. In March 2023, the Council adopted the Healthy Housing Strategy 2023-2028. As part of the public consultation, 80% of respondents rated reducing the number of empty properties in the district by exploring options to bring them back into use as important. In June 2023, Braintree District Council recruited an empty homes officer who has been working extremely hard to research good practice from other areas who have been successfully tackling empty homes, and this information has helped Braintree District Council develop our own empty homes policy. The empty homes officer will be proactively engaging with homeowners by providing advice and assistance to those wishing to bring empty homes back into use. Where necessary, the Council will use appropriate engagement and, if required, enforcement action to return properties to use. Empty homes are a wasted resource, particularly when considered against the ever-growing need for housing. To put our empty homes numbers into context, according to the Council's tax database, as of the 1st of September 2023, there were 2,647 empty properties within the Braintree district. 1,016 of these properties are empty long-term. What is classed as long-term is empty for over 6 months, and they are unfurnished and unoccupied. There is a high demand for housing within the Braintree district, and bringing empty properties back into use will increase the supply of housing to help to meet local housing need and demand. I'm asking Cabinet to consider the empty homes policy so that we can start reducing the number of properties that are left empty in our district and assist people who are waiting for housing in this district. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you very much. Councillor Bowers-Flint has moved the recommendation that we approve the empty homes policy. Is that formally seconded? Thank you, Councillor Spray. Open for comment and debate. Can I just go behind first? Yeah, Councillor Dervish.
Thank you very much. I think the empty homes policy can work nicely with the homelessness strategy in order to reduce families and those alike from being homeless due to lack of available and affordable housing, and therefore a policy I fully support and congratulate Cabinet Member and officers alike for the research that's gone into this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dervish. Councillor Spray.
Yes, thank you, Leader. Yes, thank Councillor Bowers-Flint for this. I really welcome this report. There is an increasing amount of comment in the press, national press, as well as our local press, and also on many forms of social media. It's ramped up quite a lot recently about the number of empty homes that there are, and you frequently see remarks, which I know are well meant, around, well, we've got X number of thousand of empty homes, we've got X number of thousand people on the housing list, why don't we just sort it out and match one with the other? As we know, it is not always that simple. Sometimes homes are empty for reasons, for family reasons. You know, a family member, household has died. There might be quite a complex probate issue going on. Sometimes a house owner can't be traced. I had something referred to me over a year ago where an elderly lady who lived in our district had passed away and left her property to her son, who lived in the USA. And not only was the distance difficult for him to sort out the property, he financially was not in a position to help very much. So it's not always as simple as saying we need to get these empty homes back, you know, back on the market and allow them to be used for people who we know are desperately in need of somewhere to live. So I really do welcome this report and the efforts that we are going to make to try and reduce the number of empty homes. And I am aware also, Councillor Bowes-Flint, of how hard the team work to try and sort these sometimes quite complex problems out. Thank you.
Councillor Mrs Beavis.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I mean, I would concur with Councillor Spray's comments, actually, on the complexity of empty homes in the district. And I just wondered, it probably may be in the report and I'm not scrolling through at the right point, so forgive me, and I have read the report. But are we setting ourselves, you know, a target on, you know, our expectation of reducing these numbers, and how are we going to manage that? I mean, I lost my mother only a few months ago now, and I found myself in that category myself now, trying to, you know, sort out an empty home. But in my own ward of Castle Hedingham, we had a family going through probate a little time ago now, and it got awfully complicated and legal, and probate went on and on. The house became quite dilapidated, and I think at that stage the council got involved and were actually able to take ownership of that property as well if it got to a certain point where it wasn't recoverable. And I just wondered what sort of feedback we're going to get on these 2,600 homes. It would be quite, you know, be quite interesting to get a bit more information about them. Thank you, Chairman.
Councillor Bowes-Flint.
Thank you, Leader. We are not working towards a target at this moment. What we're working on are the ones that will be the quickest to get back into use for renting or selling, because quite rightly there are other reasons that they may well be empty, but we know that we have got some that are just basically standing there and the owners just are happy with them standing there, whereas we would be happier if they were either sold or rented so that they're brought back for use within this district. So we haven't got a target at the moment, but we may well work towards that in future years. Thank you.
I do appreciate that. I just wondered, within the targeting, whether we know how many homes are caught up in probate. Because, you know, for my case, it could be the house sits there for 2 or 3 years and there's nothing I can do about it. Thank you.
I'm not sure that we do, but if we do, then we would be aware, obviously, of it, Leader. Thank you.
I think the point I would make is that clearly, you know, we want to encourage people to bring unnecessarily, I'll use that word, unnecessarily empty homes back into use at the earliest opportunity. We'd like to do that without having to adopt stronger measures to do that, although I think you will see when we bring the budget forward that we are prepared to do that for those houses which clearly there is no intention by the owners to bring that, in which case we may need to think about financial increases in the financial penalties, tax on those houses, which can then be used within the authority to help with the homelessness and housing issues generally. Any other comments at all? Sorry, yes, Councillor Barsley.
We obviously, Leader, we would be aware of some of them through the council tax scheme, so we would know that some of them are down to probate because of that. So we are aware of some, as long as the people have told us. Thank you.
Councillor Van Velden, sorry, I didn't see you behind Councillor Tom Cunningham.
Well, thank you.
Broad shoulders.
Thank you, Leader. I just wanted to make one point. It's kind of an addendum to the whole issue of making more houses available to people. The fact that in many cases, over the years, I've had experience of seeing this. There are houses which are, let's say, abandoned, or certainly not lived in, and they can very easily blight a street or an estate, which is extremely unpleasant and to be avoided. So if this programme can help in that respect, I think that's a double win for us. Thank you.
Yes, Leader, of course, and Councillor Van Dalken's quite correct. In fact, there is one in the very village that I live that's been empty for donkey's years, and it's just falling down, and it's an absolute eyesight now, to be honest with you. So we will do all what we can. Just one thing, there's been some comments on social media about the authority giving planning permission to so many houses when we have got empty homes. The brand new, the overall arching figure is included with newly built, but they are not included because they're not empty after 6 months, which is what the figure that we're looking at. And people are accusing Braintree District Council of giving planning permission and then leaving them standing empty, and we are not included that in here. We are interested in the homes that have been empty for 6 months or more. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? If not, it's been moved that we approve the empty homes policy as set out in Appendix A to this paper. Are you in agreement? Agreed. Thank you. Now move on to item 7, which is the Live Well strategy, 2024-2028. This is on page 72 of your agenda, and Councillor Lynette Bowes-Flint goes for a hat-trick tonight. So for the third item.
Thank you, Leader. Showing how dedicated and hard-working the staff are and how much we are trying to make the district a better place to live, work and play. So the Live Well Strategy 2024-2028 is a district partnership strategy that sets out the aims and aspirations of the Braintree District Health and Wellbeing Panel to improve the health and wellbeing of everyone living in Braintree District. The Health and Wellbeing Panel forms the strategic partnership for the coordination, communication and commissioning of health improvement and wellbeing services for the local population. The Live Well strategy articulates a case for change across the 3 main areas. 1. Building on the strengths of our partnership work throughout the past 4 years, especially during the pandemic, and how we can build on this further to address key challenges together. 2. Recognising the evolving demography of the district, noting that whilst we have a growing and ageing population, there are specific challenges faced across the life course that impact residents' ability to live well, with a particular requirement to focus on children, young people and families to have the best start in life. Nationally and locally, long-standing health inequalities persist. Life expectancy can be up to 9 years lower for females and over 10 years lower for males in the most deprived areas of this district. With this in mind, the strategy identifies 5 overarching strategic priorities, which are to reduce health inequalities, improve mental health and wellbeing, increase participation in active and healthy lifestyle behaviours, enable residents to maintain independence and support the most vulnerable to do more for themselves, and build community capacity, enable our assets to achieve more. Whilst there is no statutory requirement to have a Live Well strategy, it is recommended that the Council adopt the strategy to provide a clear strategic direction for enabling good health and well-being, as it is widely recognised that place-based approaches are most effective in addressing key health challenges, enabling early intervention, prevention and sustainable change. There is also a requirement for local leadership and influence to ensure residents have access to the best services and can live healthy, fulfilling lives. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councillor Bowers-Flint that we approve the Live Well Strategy 2024 to 28 is set out in Appendix 1. Is that seconded? Seconded. Thank you. Open now for comment and discussion. Any comments from anyone? Councillor Mary Cunningham.
Thank you, Chairman. I was very pleased to take part in the Cabinet member group and very pleased that Lynette chaired it, or Councillor Bowers-Flint chaired it, and we had a good cross-section of members taking part in it. There was only 2 sessions, but both of them were very well covered in all areas of this strategy. And I mean, there's so much good work that's gone into us, and I know how hard the officers and how much work Tristan in particular has put into it. I know it's a passion of his, and it shows in the document that's come forward before us tonight. There's a huge amount that I could comment on, but it would take all night. But one thing that I'm really pleased to see that Die Well has been included. It's a subject that people don't particularly find it easy to talk about, but it is an important part. It is a progression of life. So I think that's really important that that's been included. And the other bit that I feel I'm pleased to see, and I feel quite strongly about it, is that Eat Well has been a separate, or is outlined under the Be Well domain. I think Eat Well, as far as I'm concerned, once you've put the roof over your head, to me it's the second most important investment you can make in your health. And I think it's something that we've actually perhaps fallen away from a little bit. And I think we need to perhaps try and get back to that sort of practice. I know it's going to be a cultural change, but it would certainly go some way to actually addressing the obesity problem that we have. And I mean, and the figures for obesity are staggeringly high here. I think that's something we really have to address. So all in all, with all the other the partnerships that are involved, I think this is a superb document, and very, very pleased to have been part of putting that together.
Thank you, Councillor Cunningham. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Mrs Beavis and then Councillor Jeffries.
Thank you, Chairman. I mean, first of all, I just wanted to congratulate Councillor Bowers on delivering this evening, because I wasn't quite sure how you were scrolling through as I'm talking, how you would manage to do it, but you have done it brilliantly well, because there is just so much to this, but you've covered the key points, which is great. I would agree in thanking both Tristan and Sherry, and being part of that group actually was really helpful. And I would agree with you, the presentation we had that night, we knew it was going to come to Cabinet, but it was so high level, and it really did give us a very good idea of what's going on in the district. And I think for me, it has rather crystallised the very point that actually, you know, this local authority has a lot to do with health. We really do. And I appreciate a lot of this is public health and staying active and eating well and all of that stuff. And obviously Die Well, which we've now added. But for me also, this is about just delivering as many services as we can locally. And talking to Councillor Pell this evening, in fact, both our families are going through something very similar at the moment, where members of the family are attending a cancer clinic in the car park in Halstead. You know, you haven't got to travel to Colchester or Broomfield. When I last had my last MRI scan, which was all done at Broomfield, to my delight, I came down to Braintree Hospital, and the unit sits there, and it's fabulous. And you know, we want more and more of that. So I think, in summary, Chairman, the only thing I would add, and this is not a criticism, it's just an observation, is that when we made Green Heart the sort of priority for our council, everywhere you went, it was Green Heart. And in fact, I was driving through Halstead the other day, and as I looked over, there was a piece on a lamppost that said something like, pick your chewing gum up or something. And, you know, I'd really wish that I'd have read something like, have you drunk your water today? Have you walked your 10 miles today? And I still do wonder whether, going forward, and it's in the gift of yourself, Councillor Bowers, whether there's a bit more we can do on that, you know, just reminding people to, you know, to walk, to drink water, and all of the stuff we know we should be doing. But no, really do commend it. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Do you want to come?
Well, thank you, Leader, and thank you for your kind words, Councillor Beavis. Yes, I agree. We will look at opportunities where we can keep hitting the drum, if you like, to get the message home. The other thing that I did want to mention to members, that hopefully they have looked through this and looked at these percentages, but on the key public health challenges, something that's quite close and dear to my heart, and something that I will do my utmost to help reduce, is on page 14 of the strategy under mental health. We now have 10% of over 65s with common mental health disorders, and even worse, we have 15% of school-aged children are estimated now to have a social, emotional and mental health condition. And whilst I'm in this position, I will do all I can, along with the support of members, to try and lower those figures, because I think that's important, because mental health is the key to a lot of other problems. And so if we can, we'd like to reduce that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Jeffries.
Thank you. There's not much to add, really. I too was on the group, and I thought we made a really good team. Obviously, it covers a lot of things, and there's a lot of partnership work in here. I think over the years, some of the good practices have fallen away a little bit, but I think now with this, hopefully we can move forward. And I think the key thing is moving forward in partnership. We can't do all this ourselves, obviously, but there's some good work out there, and I think it's highlighting that good work and carrying it on. It's all right to have the strategy, but actually it's a 4-year strategy, and we need to continue it through those 4 years. So, yes, very happy to have been part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Spray.
Thank you, Chairman. I won't comment on the content of the document, which I think is excellent, because others have said good things about it. I just want to say how good I think the format of the strategy is. It's a very readable document, and I do think that the layout, the graphics are absolutely excellent. There are, you know, a number of pages in here where you've got the headline, the percentages and the numbers, which really stand out and do grab your attention. It's really well put together, and very well done to Councillor Bowers-Flint and to officers under Tristan for producing what I think is really first-class looking document. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments at all? Do you want to say anything else, Lynette?
Well, Leader, I was going to say after it's been accepted, because I don't want to tempt fate. So can I just make a comment after the vote's been taken?
We won't tempt fate. It's been moved to seconded. Are you happy to accept the Live Well strategy as presented? Can I just say thank you to the fact that this was members of across the chamber who took part in this, which I think gives it added weight and power. And also the point that Councillor Jeffries made, it is about working with other partners as well, but it does also show the key role that district councils have in bringing together those other partners in the area, etc. And I think this is a prime example of where that takes place. So you agreed with that? Mm-hmm. Now you've got it through. Do you want to say something else?
Yes, Leader, I would just like to pay special tribute to two people who are in the room this evening. One is Carly Jones, who is sat at the end of the desk here, and the other is Tristan, who's sitting the other side of Caroline. They are the most outstanding officers, and this is their work that has come to fruition here tonight, and their dedication to their work is unbelievable. It's off the scale, and I'm so proud. Thank you.
I think we will all agree, and thank you to the officers concerned as well. Excellent, thank you. Right, that takes us then to item 8, the second quarter performance report. And surprisingly enough, we don't have Councillor Bowers-Flint to present this, but we have the second best in that family, Councillor Bowers, who will present it.
Always been the second best, thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Right, and yeah, proud to bring forward the second quarter performance report for 23-24, which was up until September 2023. The key achievements in the second quarter were 3 crucial crew events took place between the 3rd and the 6th of July, delivering workshops to 289 children from 7 primary schools across the district. The review into the Council's air quality monitoring methodology was undertaken, and the independent review of Braintree District Council's air quality monitoring methodology confirmed that the Council was monitoring in accordance with the best practice and legislation. Actions from the review are also underway. The scheme to refurbish the wildlife garden in Housedale Public Gardens appointed a contractor, and work commenced in October 2023. Mount Chambers GP practice have moved into the Victoria Square development and are now operational. In the second quarter, council community grants have been awarded to the value of £3,750, totalling £13,114 year to date. 90 affordable homes were delivered in the second quarter, taking the total to 167 for the year so far. Participation levels at leisure centres continues to rise, with nearly 205,000 attendees in the second quarter. 69,000 residents were assisted through our handyman scheme in the second quarter. The housing team prevented 67 cases of homelessness in the second quarter through various interventions. There were 269 new business startups across the district in the second quarter, and a further 102 businesses contacted the council for business support. The number of people transacting with us online increased by 64% from the first quarter, mainly due to the number of residents signing up and taking advantage of the early bird discount for the garden waste collection service. As of the end of 2023, as a summary in regards to other projects, 3 projects are complete, 52 are on track and progressing well, and 2 projects have amber status. They are with refurbishment of wet and dry changing facilities at Housedale Leisure Centre and the Community Centre in Witham. 11 performance indicators have achieved or exceeded target. 3 performance indicators have missed their target by more than 5%. Areas of underperformance are in relation to the cumulative number of homes granted planning permission, recycling rates, and the percentage of inquiries resolved at first point of contact in the customer service centre. Full comments are provided in the report for areas of underperformance, and the relevant portfolio holders should be aware and will be able to provide updates in relation to any questions that may arise tonight. The financial performance. The financial position for the end of the second quarter is as follows. The review of income and expenditure against budget and forecast for the year indicates a net overall negative variance of £6,000. A central provision has been made for the staff pay award that reflects the latest National Employers proposed offer, which for staff covered by NJC conditions is for an increase of £1,925 or 3.88%, whichever is the higher, and for chief officers and chief executives an increase of 3.5%. Chief officers have already accepted the proposed pay rise. The estimated increase in pay cost is plus 6% against the budget provision of 3%, resulting in an estimated additional cost of £606,000. At the time of review, finalisation of the payroll was still pending, with the trade unions confirming acceptance. Other expenditure is forecast to be £550,000 over budget, an increase from the previous quarter owing to confirmation that the staff pay award, and the council is continuing to accrue legal costs in relation to the Wethersfield Asylum Centre appeals. Offsetting the projected additional staffing costs and other expenditure is an overachievement of income currently forecasted to be 1.3 million, down from 1.4 million last quarter, which is mainly attributable to Treasury Management investment income. Capital spend to the end of the second quarter was 2.05 million, incurred on the Disabled Facilities Grant Programme, plant property maintenance, community facilities and IT as key contributors. Currently, there is an estimated positive variance against capital projects of 119,000. The estimated movement on the general fund allocated balance is a net withdrawal of 1.13 million. That's all I've got to say on the report tonight, Chairman, but happy to take any questions, or the relevant portfolio holders might be able to assist. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bowers. Any comments or questions at all? Councillor Sreer.
Thank you, Leader. I just wanted to comment, really, because I think this performance report, although it's the second quarter, needs to be highlighted because, as Councillor Bowers said, less than 3% are missing our targets by 5%. And when you think of all the portfolios and all the action that's being done and the hard work of our officers across the whole of the district, I do feel that this performance report is quite exceptional. And I know from previous time that the performance report continues, but it's the improvement and the consistency that goes across this council that I think needs to be highlighted, because it really is quite exceptional to have those three items missing than less than 5% is amazing. And when you look at those that are on track or have been completed, it's really a lot of work and due diligence by the officers and all the portfolios of this council that keeps this council not only in financial stability as well, and the best practice across all of those portfolio holders, all the way environment and waste and all of it. So I think it's a compliment to Braintree District Council, the officers as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sreer. Any other Councillor, Mrs. Beavis?
Thank you, Chairman. Just a quick point to Councillor Bowers around the Headingham Medical Centre. I'm really grateful that you have, and your officers actually, have kept myself and Councillor Taylor updated, and it certainly feels a comfortable read. And we await, thank you very much, your expected day when we might get a shovel in the ground. Would be great. Thank you very much indeed.
I think there will be a sigh of relief throughout the district, not just in Sybil Headingham, when that happens. Yes, absolutely. But I do want to pay tribute to Councillor Bowers for the efforts he's been making to get that going. Okay, Councillor Mrs. Spray.
Thank you, Leader. It's at this point of the evening, so I really miss Councillor David Mann, who inevitably would raise the issue of the number of homes granted planning permission, which, and as tonight, on page 135 of the agenda under connecting people and places, is, it has a red flag as we're not making target. And Councillor Mann, former Councillor Mann, would undoubtedly ask me about that. We are comfortable, certainly in the planning and performance team, that we will make that target. It doesn't fall neatly into the quarters in terms of delivery. And I do know that there are a number of planning applications for, considerable numbers of homes due to come forward. Of course, they have to be given permission to count, but there are a number coming forward in this last quarter, which we do believe will push us over the line in terms of making that target. So it always looks as though it's underperforming. It's just, as I say, it doesn't fall neatly into quarters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or quick? Councillor Mrs. Jeffries.
Thank you, Councillor Spray, for answering that question.
Oops.
We're mind reading that. Okay. Any other comments or questions at all? No. In that case, are you happy to note the second quarter performance report for 23-24? Agreed? Thank you. That takes us to item 9, the Community Delivery Plan for 2025-28 Member Working Group. Can I remind members that at the last full council there was a motion which was approved unanimously by council which requested Cabinet to consider establishing or rather look at the possibility of establishing a community delivery plan for 2025-28, this paper is in response to that request to set up an all-party working group to examine the concept with particular reference to the following issues, which were issues that were agreed, as I say, unanimously by council. So this paper is responding to the full council desire, suggestion that we set up a working group, the membership of which is set out in para 3.2.1, and to ask group leaders to nominate their respective members to the head of governments to be part of that group, and that group then to report back to Cabinet. And this isn't something which we want to see go on all 1 year. We want to get this meeting going, and we think probably one meeting should be able to thrash that out if we give sufficient time and effort to it. The working group we've established will be supported by the People and Performance Manager and the Governance Service, so that there's officer support to the group. And the suggestion there is how we should take this forward to come back to Cabinet, and then Cabinet to report to full council, or through Cabinet to full council on the motion that council approved on the 11th of December. I will move the recommendations in 2.1 to agree the establishment of the member working group and to approve the terms of reference as set out in paragraph 3.2. Is that seconded, formally seconded? Thank you. I'll now throw it open for any comments anyone might have. Councillor Cunningham, Tom Cunningham.
No, just thank you, Chairman. Just welcome the paper, and pleased it's moving forward, and look forward to the findings of the work that's undertaken by this subgroup. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just take, sorry, do you want to go first? Yeah, I was just going to ask, can I take the liberty of asking the group members, are you happy to nominate people to the group?
Yes,
Yes.
sorry, we were dealing with a flood over here while
Yes,
we were
sorry.
discussing it. Nothing to do with the weather, but I'm sure we do.
Right. Okay, so if we can, I presume we'll get a note out. We'll be asking for our nominations if we can get that done as promptly as we can, and we can get things moving then. Okay, if there are no other comments or questions on that. Sorry, did you have one, by the way? Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Sorry, I was also distracted by some water coming in my direction, and well cleared up. Yeah, just a couple of things. There's a very small typo on page 147. I saw it earlier on somewhere or over the weekend. It refers to the G and I, it's actually the ING. So just a correction there. Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at this, it sort of pulls together the areas that I thought, this is about, how we're going to deliver our projects, and looking at the strategies involved in this. I think it was really good. I was actually with another Essex local authority earlier on, and it's not the first one, where a lot of them are sort of saying, how on earth do we deliver the priorities in the corporate strategy, and what's the vehicle for doing that? So for me, it's just that really. So I'm going to be really interested to see how that group works through it. So thank you very much. Welcome that, Chairman.
Thank you. Yes, I see the typing error. It's in 3.2.1. Yes, apologies. G and I should be ING. Right. Okay. Any other comments? If not, you're happy to accept the recommendations? Agreed. Thank you very much. I think that brings us to the end of the agenda for this evening. There's nothing in part 2, and I've not been informed of any urgent business that needs to be done. So with that, I thank members for attending this evening, and I would declare the meeting closed at 8:04. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Chairman,
No, I won't.
Sorry, Chairman, would you kindly remind members that the next meeting of Cabinet is on the 5th of February?
For those who didn't hear, the next meeting of Cabinet is on the 5th of February.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you.